What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track, back with another video, coming off a huge win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I was there live. I called the bell win. It was the biggest bet that I gave out on this very program last Tuesday afternoon. Biggest bet of the year, biggest hit of the year. I think I ended up netting, when like it was all said and done, close to $1,600. So Christopher Bell, he continues to make us money. The two biggest bets in my NASCAR career have been at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, that a track that my home track, a track that I just know, feel comfortable, and both have came from Christopher Bell. We've also won like multiple times. He won Bristol Dirt for us. He won one of the playoff races last year for us. He won Martinsville a couple of years ago in the do or die. We had him at the Roval that year that he won the Roval. He just makes us money. I love the man. C. Bell in the 20. He's my guy. I mean, he is my guy moving forward. I think I'm going to convert to just a diehard Bell fan. But with that, you got to continue to, keep your driver options open, if you will, especially when you're betting like us. So great weekend at New Hampshire on Sunday. Will like kind of have to do with the fact that I have a little bit of a lighter card this week. You gotta take what you can get sometimes. So when you have a big win like that, I oftentimes try to go a little bit lighter on the card, but I do feel pretty confident about Nashville. I think we're gonna be on the right track here with what we're looking at. Before we get into the card real quick, the NASCAR betting preview show, I was on it last Wednesday. The live show rather. It runs Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on X. I was on it giving my bets. I also gave out some Harrison Burton bets that all hit as well. A group winner. We had him finishing under 27.5. So good weekend with that stuff as well. So thanks and shout out Harrison Burton on winning those bets for me, to couple that with the Christopher Bell bet. But yeah, NASCAR betting preview show Wednesdays live on X, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, you've got all the content you possibly need. If you go to however you listen and consume your podcast, whether that be on Spotify, the podcast app, you're just going to search up the NASCAR betting preview show. Hit follow on that podcast feed for plenty of good betting content creators giving you the bets you need for the weekend in motorsport. So here we go. That is that. Got to just, keep our eyes forward. We had a great weekend, but we've got to continue to win more and more and more and get those units numbers up. It's been an up and down year, but having a win like that goes a long way for the year, that is for sure. So Nashville, Chevy has dominated this track. Quite frankly, you've had a Larson win, you've had a Chase Elliott win, and you've had a Ross Chastain win, who was the most recent winner last year. Chastain has been pretty darn good at this track. But the first guy that I'm going to mention is the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. He's been very fast in the next gen era at this track. You feel like he's due. He's been the fastest car at both of the next gen races at Nashville, has not got the winning result I feel like he deserves. Couple that with the fact that we just have a new announcement that Briscoe, finally, JGR announced today, Briscoe will take over the 19. Is that kind of like a weight lifted off Truex's shoulders, right? He first announced that he's retiring. Now they've got someone to hopefully fill those shoes in the number 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing for many years to come. Is that all kind of behind Truex, and he really could just focus on racing until he retires at the end of this season? I think yes. I think it starts this Sunday at Nashville. He is going to have a great car. He's had great cars. He just needs to get over that hump. Plenty of bad luck. Looked like he could have won Loudon. Obviously, you go to Richmond and all the other races really throughout this year that Truex, they've just slipped away from him. But he's had the fastest car multiple times at many different tracks, and I feel like this will be no different. Martin Truex Jr. to win at Nashville. Give me 1 second because I want to get the most up-to-date number for you. I think it was at plus 700, maybe even plus 750. Let's check. Plus 750 it is on DraftKings at the moment for Martin Truex Jr. to win. So great value there, in my opinion. Number 2 for me, Denny Hamlin, plus 550, the number on Denny. Really darn good. Second fastest car here overall in the next gen era. Results of third, results of sixth. Just a guy that, shows up to Nashville and is fast. And again, it's crazy because, like I mentioned, Chevy has won all of the races at Nashville since its return in the Cup Series. But, Hamlin and Truex, they've had fast cars. So as high as I am on Chevy, I do think there's some value on Chevy, on the board overall. You look at the speed numbers and they tell you to bet on Truex. They tell you to bet on Hamlin. So those are two guys that I am targeting this weekend. Like I said, Hamlin, second fastest car overall here in the next gen era, third and sixth place results. And speaking of third and sixth place results, another guy that you can find in some books at 10 to 1, I see him on DraftKings at 9 to 1, is another Hendrick Chevy who has not yet won this race. That is William Byron, another guy. Third, sixth place results. Great car here last year, one of the fastest cars. And I just feel like 10 to 1, if you can find it, shop around. I think you can. I see it on Around Sportsbook still right now. 9 to 1, though, on DraftKings. I feel like that's a good value bet to take for William Byron. Yes, he's cooled off a little bit in the early, late spring, early summer here. But he oftentimes kind of cools off a little bit and then gets hot. I like him here this week. There's another track that I'm already looking ahead to bet heavy on Byron, but I see the number 24 car Hendrick Motorsport Chevrolet 10 to 1 at a favorable track for Chevy. I feel like there's major value on William Byron right now to go get a win. Another guy I'm looking at, a guy that his best result at Nashville is only 18th. But Chris Buescher, 30 to 1 right now. I think you can shop around, find some different numbers, but on DraftKings, 30 to 1 is the number. He's been very good in his career on concrete. Nashville, obviously a concrete track. You look at some other concrete tracks, Darlington, he impressed me a lot there. Probably should have won that race if not for a late race move by Reddick to try to get by him. He impressed me there. He's been great at Bristol in his career. And if you remember, this is the place, or not the place, but this is about the time that last year Chris Buescher really started to heat up. It was kind of that midsummer month up until the end of the regular season. He bunched out 3 wins pretty quickly. So Chris Buescher is an interesting one to watch. He still has had pretty solid results, even with some slip-ups here and there. Honestly, some of those slip-ups, like I said, it was the Darlington slip-up where he got a terrible, end result when, quite frankly, he probably could have and should have won that race. But Chris Buescher, I feel like in this spot, 30 to 1 the number, very good at concrete. I like Buescher a lot here this weekend. Those are kind of the 4 guys that I'm really highlighting. I want to see if I can find, and it hasn't dropped yet. I assume Chevrolet is probably going to be the favorite here. I would put that line probably around plus 130. Again, this is just off the top of my head. I don't know for sure, but I actually think there's probably going to be some pretty good value betting Toyota and Joe Gibbs, quite frankly. Like I said, right? You break down the numbers a little bit more. Yes, Chevy has won all these races at Nashville since it's got back on the schedule, but Joe Gibbs Racing has had the fastest cars. So I think there's probably going to be some value to bet Toyota. One other guy that I feel like you probably want to throw in if you're doing in a DraftKings lineup, or if you like a top 5, top 3 bet, maybe a top Chevrolet, that's Ross Chastain. 7 to 1, 7.5 to 1 is the number on his outright. I don't love that. I mean, he really hasn't looked like he's been able to win a race all season so far. Yeah, he's had some decent results at mile and a half, but it's been a while since we've really thought of Ross as a race winning contender. And, quite frankly, I don't see the value on him to win, but I think there's probably going to be value on top 3, top 5, top Chevy. That's where I think you can go with Ross Chastain to get some value and feel pretty confident that you could hit a winner there. So Ross Chastain, one other guy I will give out. But again, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Chris Buescher, and Toyota as a prop and manufacturer, as well as some prop stuff on Ross Chastain. That's the card I'm looking at right now. But as always, Johnny on the Track on Action Network at JOTT_podcast on Twitter, X. That's where you can find the final card. Want to know what you guys think? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a like, goes a long way for the channel, and hit that subscribe button for more motorsports content. We had a great weekend last Sunday at New Hampshire. Let's carry that momentum over to Nashville and win some money. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.